What's going on, Georgia Bulldog fans? Aaron Murray, Ben Jones, Tavarres King joining here with Bulldog Banter. Knowshon will be on soon. He is finishing up his show responsibilities for the Denver Broncos post-game. So he'll be on about 10 to 15 minutes to give, obviously, his great thoughts on the game. But a big win yesterday for the Georgia Bulldogs. Like I say, big win. It was a win. I mean, it was UMass. We all get it. The Minutemen. A win's a win. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Georgia's new rankings. We'll talk about the wild ass day in college football yesterday, which I was texting with my dad and brother earlier in the day, and I was like, the only way Georgia gets in is if this and this and this and this and this happen, and this and this and this and this did happen. So Georgia is going to. I'm literally telling my dad, like, Dad, the Dogs are not going to Atlanta. The Dogs don't want to go to Atlanta. Dogs need the weekend off. Blah, 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 blah. Like, send him a list of everything that has to go right. And all of it happened. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, what a crazy day of college football. So we'll talk about that. But yes, the Dogs are going to Atlanta. And guess what? They ain't going to face Bama. They're going to face Texas, or they're going to face Texas A&M. So you should feel pretty good that Georgia, who was on the outside of the playoffs looking in, maybe and probably right now I would say the favorites to get a bye, first round bye, and be the number 3 seed in the playoffs. How things change so fast. What's up, fellas? Ben Jones at the beach, Tavarres King in the normal spot. How y'all doing here on a Sunday night? How was everyone's weekend?
It was crazy. Man, it was awesome, but fell asleep last night in the Auburn game, woke up to Auburn winning an OT and Bama losing. Great weekend.
Wow.
Weekend sold.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that, Ben. It was a hell of a weekend. And like you said, bro, no expectations of anything of Atlanta, and then you sit down Saturday night and you just like, damn, we going to Atlanta. So
we going to Atlanta,
dope, bruh. What up, TC? I see you down there.
TC in the house. Yes, we are going to Atlanta, and it's not I am not confident in Georgia that they can't win in Atlanta, because like I said, it ain't going to be Alabama. We already beat Texas. I think Texas is going to beat A&M next weekend, so I'm anticipating a rematch versus Texas. I think we could beat Texas again, especially in Georgia, and I really do believe we match up better against A&M. I think we take care of business against A&M if they do beat Texas next weekend. So I feel confident that Georgia is going to get the first round bye. I was just more of saying it from a week ago, not to just defend Georgia because they weren't going to get there because of everything that had to happen, more for the sense of they've had to play Clemson, Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Like, they just needed a beat Georgia Tech on Friday night and then just take 3 weeks to get their mind right for the playoff instead of having to get ready for another top 5 matchup. But, it is what it is at this point. So now, have your minds changed at all, either of you, about wanting to or thinking it's good to play in Atlanta now that we're there and it's actually going to happen?
Get a bye. Now you play for a bye. You can get that 3 weeks a different way now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the 3 weeks a different way. I don't think my mind changes on the game. Like, it's still, in essence, kind of like, the hell we doing this for? But shit, we doing it because we them dudes, we them dogs, and shit, we deserve it. So we deserve to be there. We deserve to be stamped, SEC champs. But as far as my feelings on the game in itself, it's still a game that's kind of meaningless, I guess.
Yeah.
So we just got to win one to get to the. So if we get the first round bye, we just got to win one to make it to the championship game.
No, 2 still. There'd be 4 rounds. 4 rounds. 4 rounds still. So it'd go from 12 to 8.
It's a lot of ball.
To 4 a championship.
So it is nice getting the ball.
It's a lot of ball,
bro. Win 3 more games. 3 more games after the SEC championship game. So technically there could be 5 more games left in the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big. They're getting to the NFL schedule now.
Well, I mean, it's getting close. It is getting close.
They getting NFL money. They might as well.
Hey, you ain't lying. No doubt.
What do you think? So, obviously we talked about everything is geared towards playoffs. I remember back in 2012, Ben, you weren't there, but TK and I are obviously on the team. and we lost to South Carolina middle of the season. BCS era, you feel like you lose one game, you're out of it. So we're heading into the end of the season, and it was like either the last week of the season or the week before, like either second or last week of the season. And Oregon was number one in the country. Obviously, Notre Dame was undefeated. So we needed help to get to the championship. Like we couldn't just win, and we couldn't just win the SEC and go to the championship. We needed Oregon or Notre Dame to lose. And neither of them looked like they were going to lose based on their schedule. Then all of a sudden, bam, Oregon gets upset. And I remember watching it like, holy shit. Like now all of a sudden, if we win, we're in. Kind of mentality, like the excitement, the juice started going a little bit. Do you think that was the same kind of feeling when I don't know if the guys were watching or not, but like watching Auburn beat Texas A&M and watching Oklahoma beat Alabama? Like, do you think that there's a new sense of energy in the building that we could be the number one team in the SEC, get that bye? Like, or do you think that really matters that much in the locker room?
I think it means something to them. Like, I think they're going to come out some juice. They're going to beat Georgia Tech. They're going to handle business. And they're playing for something more than just, hey, we're getting a shot in the playoffs. They're playing for a title game. I know Kirby's going to be sitting up there pointing to the wall like, hey, we can put another plaque on this wall. We can hang another banner. That means something. Guys are sitting there in that locker room. That's their legacy. For us as fans, we're sitting there like, hey, do we want to break? But you take pride in the plaques on the wall, the stuff that goes behind your name. You're All-American. You're All-SEC. That's stuff that you pass down to your kids, and they want to be able to point to that wall like, hey, we won the SEC. We put another plaque there. Hey, we won a national championship in the first college football playoff. It's a lot on stake this year, and, hey, this is the first year Texas and Oklahoma's in, so it's a bigger SEC, a better SEC, and anything can happen.
Amen to that. Who would you rather go against, T? Texas or A&M? Like, who are you rooting for next week? Is there something to be said about having to play a team twice, though, beating them twice? You ain't worried about that?
You going there, Ben?
I don't like zone read. I want that.
Yeah,
Marcel Reed can fly. I don't like that versus us.
I just think Texas overall is such a better roster than A&M.
I do too.
From like top to bottom.
I'll have to.
I know you were worried about the mobile quarterback, but Texas's roster is better than A&M's roster. Did you just see what Auburn just put it on? Yeah, but Auburn put it on A&M. So I worry about Texas's defense. Like, I'm worried about.
I don't want to play Alabama. Like, mobile quarterbacks give us trouble. Look at our law. Dart can move. Milroy, they give us trouble. We don't rush the passer when it's a mobile quarterback. If Ewers is there, what are we going to do? We're going to blitz him. We're going to get after him. We know where he's at. So as a defensive standpoint, I think it's a better fit for us playing Texas.
But I think it's a better fit for our offense going against A&M's defense than Texas defense. I think Texas defense is one of the best defenses in the country.
I agree.
I think that's a 100%. Different game if Ewers doesn't throw those picks in the first half.
Oh, for sure. And I agree with what you're saying too, Ben. Like we don't do well with mobile quarterbacks at all. So
we sit back and worry about their legs instead of getting after them. So that's why I like playing a guy where you know he's going to be in the pocket.
And hold up, go back up.
And he's seen ghosts, and he might see some more ghosts again. He knows we got after him last time, so that he's gonna be sitting in that pocket thinking, I got to get rid of it, got to get out of here. Quarterbacks, you think like that. You know, if you've been hit a couple times, Murray, you be like, hey, my time is ticking back here.
Yeah, you start seeing ghosts.
Trust me, I know. Connor Anderson, no, if we win in Atlanta, the home games are only for the first round. Second round will be. Second round may be in Atlanta, though, the Peach Bowl. So they'll probably be there because Georgia will be the number 2 team.
There too?
And the Natty's there, too, yes.
We played 3 straight games in Atlanta?
Yeah.
No, not 3 because the second round. Or third round.
We played 3 out of 4 in Atlanta.
Yeah. That'd be wild. I mean, heavy
to buy out tickets before Texas and Texas A&M
because Oregon will get the number 1 seed if they went out. They're not going to pick Atlanta for their first game in the second round. And if Georgia wins the SEC championship game, they'll be the number 2 seed behind Oregon.
Yep.
So they'll probably get Atlanta. So yes, if Georgia wins next weekend,
that's 4 times,
they'll be in Atlanta SEC championship game, and they'll be in Atlanta for that second round of the playoffs.
And then the Natty.
And then the Natty.
Yeah.
And then the Natty. Mm-hmm. And then the Natty. Yeah, 4 times in 1 year. Jack Wright.
Wow. Yeah,
that's a lot of times in that stadium. That's an advantage, man. Like
I'm with it.
It's different playing in a dome.
It is.
It's different playing in a dome. Like Ben, you played in a dome in Houston. Like, talk about that. And maybe it was just like heading into an NFL stadium felt different, but I mean, heading into Mercedes-Benz and then the dome before that, and just a different feeling being in something that's enclosed compared to outdoors, which, I think every one of these teams plays outdoors. None of them play inside.
Yeah. It's definitely louder because you're not, I don't know what it is, if it's the music, if it's the fans, if it's whatever it is. I know being in Houston, it was so loud in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go play at the Saints Stadium, places like that, like everybody's like, oh, it's so loud outside. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, go to indoors. You play these teams. Like, that's the closest thing. Like, you go there and I remember playing LSU in the SEC championship, and they brought their fans and we brought ours, and it was rocking.
Mm-hmm.
We both had to go silent the whole game. And I think it's going to be an advantage. We know we're in Texas, and Texas A&M don't. So buy up all these tickets, and let's make this another home game for the Dogs.
Hell yeah.
I like your style. I like your style there, man.
You will be interesting, too, because I do think like Texas is one of the best rosters in America. If they lose, they really don't have a signature win.
They're out.
Do they even keep them out of the playoffs?
You're saying they'll be in. If they only
It's
have
going to be weird.
losses,
I know, but who they beat? I guess it helps them that Florida's playing well.
13 through whatever, they all got at least 2 losses.
Yeah.
All right, say something happens and we lose in the SEC championship. Where do we fall? Do we get a home then?
I think we'd still get a home game then. I think we'd get a home game then.
3 losses?
Yeah. Yeah. Barring that we take care of business for Georgia Tech next weekend, I think we'll be fine. We will be fine. I saved some comments. Katie in the chat wants to know, Aaron, how annoyed were you to be at a wedding during these amazing games? So the wedding wasn't until 4:00 Central. So I got to watch the first games. Went to a bar, watched all the first games, which those were great action. So I got those games. And then the second slate of games, I had my phone out the entire time. So I watched the Colorado game until that kind of got carried away. And then I watched the second half of the Alabama and Auburn games. So I got the second half of both of those, and I went back and watched the first half of those this morning. So I didn't miss most of it live, luckily, just because of the time of the wedding. And the game I have not watched yet. I still got to go back and watch the BYU Arizona State game. That's the only one I really truly missed. So
what y'all saw that hit on Shadur?
Woo!
That was so dirty, bro.
I know in the NFL you're taught that if he's out the pocket, you go low because they're not protected. I don't know if that's the same rule in college, but
was it dirty though?
Huh?
It was late. If it was on time, I don't think it's dirty because of the targeting rules and stuff. We were taught, quarterback outside the pocket, you hit him low because you can't hit him anywhere up top.
Oh no!
I'm about to say you can't hit him up top. So I'm watching. I get that it was very aggressive, but
it was late. It was bad. It was two or 3 steps.
Ball was gone.
Yeah. I think if it was a bang bang, I'm like, okay, he's making a play, but it was. It looked like a little more to
it. Would you expect an offensive lineman to beat some ass though, Ben? I know you would have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I know Ben would have fucking killed someone. Yeah. A fight's breaking out. Alex Page should have broken 100%. Out then too.
Like that, it was weird just to see nobody comes immediately over there. I don't know. I thought that was weird too.
All right, I do want to. We'll get to the UMass game. I want to continue talking about some of the other stuff that went on yesterday, just because it's a little bit bigger. And I'm not stressing out about the UMass game and kind of what happened, what didn't happen. We'll touch on that in a second. But there's a lot of teams right now, all of a sudden, that have 3 losses. Ben said it. It is craziness of who's going to get those final spots. But before we get into who deserves it, who doesn't, because I'm struggling this right now because everyone keeps saying, "Oh, we love the 12-team playoff," but this year we were all loving it 3-4 weeks ago. But now we're like, "Oh, well, 12 teams don't deserve to get in because no one's elite, no one's great, no one's elite, no one's great."
Makes it better.
But that's what I'm saying. The NFL. I think we have to change our mindset to what teams look like, what teams are going to do, what records are going to be, and just understand at the end of the day, it's all about just getting in. And if you're good enough to get in, you're good enough to win a championship. And from there, it's a brand new season. That's what the NFL is. You can be a 11-5 NFL team and go win the Super Bowl. You just got to get in. So it doesn't mean the team's not
9-7.
Great. It just means that, like,
AFC Championship. Giants did it with Eli Manning. They were 8-8 or 9-7 and won it.
Yep.
Just who's hot at the end of the year.
You can't tell me that Alabama still couldn't win a national championship if they made it into the top 12.
I'm with you. Nobody wants them in there. Get them out.
Yeah, no, hell no.
I mean, there's plenty of teams that Ole Miss still, I think, it's a great football team. It's going to be different. I think people are still stuck on the BCS era and the 14 playoff, where it's like you have to be elite of elite of elite, and you have to win every single game, and that's all that matters. Like, no, this is so much more like the NFL now, where you're going to have ups and downs, but all that matters is getting into the playoff, get to the new season, and then it's off to the races.
No doubt. Nobody wants to see Alabama, Ole Miss, or
South Carolina.
Give me the SMUs. Give me the Indianas. Leave them in there. Keep them in there.
I agree. All these damn fans are like on my ass, like, oh, you're such an SEC homer. I'm like, you can't fucking tell me right now that Indiana or SMU could play tomorrow and beat South Carolina, Alabama, or Ole Miss. You can't tell me that.
No.
You cannot tell me that.
Yeah, nah.
You are crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying last week. Last week, that 3, 4, 5, 6 spot just looked real fraudulent. So,
like, you look at Ohio State Indiana game. That's what an SEC team looks like in Ohio State, the roster. And Indiana had no business being out there.
I heard this crazy stat about that game that I'm just like, oh my God, I listened to a podcast this morning, and it was, so their team stats, total yards they had in the game were 153. Their first possession of the game was 75 yards.
Wow.
Last possession of the game, 75.
That is a wild stat.
No, listen to this. So first possession of the game, 75 yards, first possession, 75 yards, the second possession. In between those possessions, the first and last, 8 yards.
I remember seeing it.
8 yards. You tell me that team can compete with these SEC teams? Come on now. 8 yards. Other than the first and last drive of the game.
That was it.
They got killed.
It was a whole different speed level out there. They were jogging by them. It looked like it was a whole different level of talent.
So it just drives me crazy. These Big Ten fans that keep jumping in my Twitter, like, call me, you got CTE and you're an effing idiot. And I'm like, bitch, fucking watch the film. They got their ass spanked. Spanked. And who else have they played? No one.
That's it.
So I don't know, man. Like, I like their coach. I like the team. Doesn't mean I believe they deserve to be in the playoffs. Like, USC, Alabama, Ole Miss would all beat Indiana tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's they need to put the best 12 teams in.
No, leave them in there.
I know you want to leave them in there.
We'll take them. We'll play them. We'll volunteer to play them. Put them on our schedule.
I agree. I hope they're in there. Nice. So I want to bring this up just so we can visually see it right now. I want to show where these rankings. All right, so these are the rankings right now: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Tennessee. I don't mind Notre Dame at 5, and all the people are upset because they keep bringing up the loss early in the season. I think it's a good football team. Yeah, the quarterback's getting better. I mean, it's really the 9 through 12. It's SMU, which obviously SMU controls their fate. If they win the ACC, they're in. They lose, that'll be interesting. Indiana, Boise State, Clemson.
Got it.
So and who gets in at the at-large?
Probably Boise.
Oh, Arizona State. They said Arizona State's going to sneak in.
Well, Arizona State wins the Big 12 they're in. Yeah.
So they'll get the 12 seed, and Boise would get the 4 seed.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah.
But Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. If there's a 3-loss team that gets in, who gets in? Or Who do you believe should get
Alabama.
in versus who gets in?
Those three.
All right. So if SMU
Of those three, if there's
loses
one
to
spot
Miami-
left, and the committee's like, we're going to put another SEC team in, and it's one of those three, obviously, it's going to be Alabama, Ole Miss, or South Carolina.
Damn, I'm with
You all
Ben.
know how I feel.
I don't want none
Alabama
of them.
Huh?
Alabama got whooped by they got beat by Vandy and Oklahoma. Ole Miss
Yeah, I know.
lost to Florida.
That's playing well.
Who else did they lose to? Kentucky at home and LSU.
Yeah, and LSU on the road.
Ugh.
Of the three of them, South Carolina's playing
Yeah,
the best. Everyone
think
knows
so,
how I
too.
feel about South Carolina. South Carolina is my number 6 team right now in the country. So I think South Carolina should be if South Carolina beats Clemson in Clemson this weekend. So let's go South Carolina would have been down the stretch, A&M, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and then Clemson.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. And to your point earlier, Ben, they all have running quarterbacks, so I don't want none of them.
None of them.
But if I had to pick,
posted a thing how do you put SMU in if they lose to Miami in the ACC championship with 2 losses?
I wouldn't because they don't have their strength of schedule is horrendous.
Play nobody. But
No
right
one.
here they had if we lose to Texas in the SEC championship, they had us as the 8 seed playing Tennessee, Oregon the 1, Boise the 4th, Ohio State 5, Arizona State 12, Penn State 7. Who was 5? Oh, SMU 10, Texas 2, Miami 3, Notre Dame 6 playing number 11 Indiana. My only one is sitting there at SMU. Like, hey, if you lose, it just depends on how you lose to Miami, I guess.
So let me ask y'all this then. How bad did this weekend hurt the SEC? Like, is your mind? Can we put the fact that we played at Georgia and SEC school? Can we put that away when it comes to honestly assessing these teams? Because that was a bad loss by Alabama. I mean, that was embarrassing.
Penn State almost lost to Minnesota, guys.
True.
They faked a punt on their own 20, up by 1 with 2 minutes left in the game. They almost lost.
True that.
So nobody's elite. That's what we said.
What are you asking us to do? Take
it away and just say like because that's
SEC
maybe because I've been in these wars on social media with SEC and you're an SEC homer. I'm just like whatever. What I'm asking is like how bad did what happened this weekend hurt the SEC? Auburn beating A&M, Florida beating Ole Miss, Oklahoma beating Alabama.
Hey, I called the Florida one.
Yeah. I mean, but I feel like this is the same thing every year. Like it's a old tale. We kick. It's a dog fight every weekend in the SEC. Like so that is. I don't feel like that's a shock. Does it hurt? Hell yeah, it hurts every year. I feel like every year this kind of predicament is in the air. I mean, this talk is in the air because all we do is beat up on each other. And if you look at like a SMU's schedule and their record,
the ACC is horrendous.
It's dookie, bro. Like,
so that's what I want to ask fans. What conference is better? What conference is better? Keep telling me that the SEC is overrated. Keep saying it.
You can't.
What conference are you going to put over them right now? The Big Ten has Ohio State and Oregon, and then a Penn State, like Ben said, that almost lost to Minnesota.
Yeah, bro.
But it's still 3 teams.
Dog eat dog down here. Like,
ACC got no one.
In the SEC, like the amount of guys who are paid. Like, yes, Oregon's got players. Ohio State has dudes.
Yes.
We got to give them their flowers. They have dudes.
Yes.
I'm talking about rosters, top to bottom, both of them, unreal. But other than that, in that division, they're just average.
Yep.
Like you go down to SEC rosters. All those guys are paid and went and got the best players. You got your Tennessees, your Georgias, your Alabamas, your Ole Miss and Ohio State. They have almost the same roster. Like the best money can buy. It's just whoever
Yep.
shows up that week.
Yep, I agree.
Florida's got one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterback talents in the country right now. Like he is going to be a dude.
Yeah,
Thank goodness
He
he
is
got
a
hurt.
dude.
He's growing, bro.
Well, we've been sitting there saying like, man, we got beat by Florida because Lagway got hurt, didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
He was giving it to us.
Oh, he was. He's a damn good quarterback. Damn
Notre
good
Dame,
quarterback.
they got talent. Their defense is elite. I give them credit. Their defense is elite there. Like I'm not sold on their offense, but they can run the ball and they play good defense. So that's going to be good playoff football. They're going to be hard to beat in the playoffs because they're going to protect the ball, run the ball, and play good defense. So you got to give them some credit. They play good playoff football.
Yeah, they had one bad game. Like I hate people keep saying, "Oh, they lost to a Group of 5 team, Northern Illinois starts team." Like, okay, it sucks, it happens, but everyone in the country this year has played like crap at least one football game.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to go tick for tat, then they can say the same thing about all these SEC teams or Big Ten teams or ACC teams. So, like one game should not define the season. They have been great since then. They've been dominant. I know it's not been against the toughest of schedules, but I mean, they're a good football team. And I think that's the hard part. Maybe it's because we've played the game and we can tell like what it takes to win a championship and not. They have a roster that can win football games and can win football games late in the season. Maybe not national championship caliber, but they're good enough to end up being a top, being in the semifinals, in my opinion.
I agree.
100%.
So they're going to hang their hat on good defense. They got Al Golden. They got Freeman, who are great, elite defensive coaches. I'm not sold on their offense at all. If you stop the run, they're going to be in a bind. But you ain't going to go out there and score 40 on them. I tell you that much. It's going to be a dogfight.
Hey, listen, Riley Leonard's been better this second half of the season, though. I mean, you look at his game log the past – I mean, really since Louisville, which is not a bad team, it's been 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. Only 2 interceptions since September 28th.
You protect the ball and play in that defense, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, he's protecting the football, not turning it over. I mean, that was the big thing in their loss. No touchdowns, 2 picks. And he hasn't had a 2-pick game since then.
I guess on Tuesday we'll really see what they think about the college football playoffs and see how people get ranked. I think that's going to tell a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
How far do y'all think? Do you think we jump to like 6, 7, or are we going to hang at 8?
No, we'll move up. I think we'll move. Let me pull up these. Oh, there's rankings right here. I think we will be. I think we're right here in the AP. Right, we'll be 6.
But they're going to throw Miami in there as the 4 seed. So that'll make us jump down to
but when it just comes to this, not like the actual rankings.
Yeah.
So I guess like if
7 seed.
6 or 7, somewhere there. But a home game. I mean, as of right now, Georgia has a home game.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity to get a bye. Chat, Aaron, related to your point about SEC teams, do you think the conference would ever break away from the CFP? I mean,
something would have to happen.
I think if you wanted to add, if the Big Ten and SEC said, hey, we're going to add each 4 more teams
and do a North and a South,
that'd
be really cool, honestly.
If you could get like Clemson and Florida State and Miami and a couple more, and divide them up,
you could get those.
Yeah, but they got to get out of their contracts.
They could do that.
You got to have that buyout.
Yeah, they got to deal with all that legal stuff. But I think that would work. That would work. But back to the question, none of y'all answered. Who gets in? Who are you picking of those 3 teams in the SEC? South Carolina,
we
Miss,
dodged
Alabama.
that shit,
You did.
I don't think any of them's going to get in.
If one was to get in, which one is going to get in? That's the question.
I'm a pick Bama, bro. I don't know. I think I'd like to see them again. One, and then I think
I don't want to see them.
Yeah, I do. You don't, man?
Yes, I'll see Bama over Ole Miss. Give me Alabama.
That's all. Yeah, and I don't want South Carolina.
I don't want South Carolina.
Yeah, so
it's interesting. Obviously, South Carolina lost to both those teams, but I think they're playing the best right now. Not Ole Miss spanked them. That was one
Not
bad.
many,
That was
yeah.
the South Carolina
Ole
bad
Miss
loss.
beat them like they beat us.
Yeah. So that will be. I think that's going to be the thing that holds them back.
Tennessee is the happiest team in the college football right now.
Oh yeah, Tennessee. I mean, they have Vandy. They just beat Vandy. They're in, and they make it a first round game at home.
Imagine getting to have a home game in Neyland for them. I feel bad for whoever has to go there. Indiana, Indiana had never played more than 30,000 people until last week.
They get their ass whooped. Justin Farmer wants to know: does Georgia get in if we lose SEC championship game? I think as long as we beat Georgia Tech, we are in regardless. And I think we probably, even with a loss, get one of the home games still.
Yeah, because you're looking at all the teams that are out of it. They have 3 losses.
Yeah.
So we're going to get in over them because we lost the SEC championship.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely in.
From a health perspective, I mean, we got a lot of people banged up, bro. A lot.
Yep.
Like, and
that's why I didn't want to play in the game.
Yeah.
We're going to get ETN back.
Yeah.
Hey, Frazier, give him his credit. He played his tail off this week. No, he didn't have a huge run. I think his longest run was like 19, 20 yards, but 21 carries over 130 yards. Like, he looked good.
Yeah, he proved he could be a bell cow too.
Back-to-back week.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. And then who's asking? Tiger Baskins. TK, do you think our offense looked consistent yesterday? I did. I really did. I thought the receivers played well. I think a few drops, but I thought Carson played extremely well. I think everybody on our side of the ball really put it together.
Defense.
So yeah, the consistency was there. I thought. Yeah, the defense. I can't speak to that. That's the thing too. That was the thing, bro. We couldn't get off the field on third down. Like we'd have them wrapped up, and they just kind of break a tackle, and then like you said, we got to do better tackling.
226 yards rushing, 5.7 yard average for the minute.
Georgia Tech's quarterback get hurt this week, or they just go with the freshman?
We got Haynes.
I don't think they just went with him. Haynes must have got banged up.
He was like 3 for 3. Then the other guy
he's been banged up the whole damn year. It feels like
he's not big, but he can run.
He can scoop.
Oh yeah.
It's that last name.
Yeah,
you know.
I appreciate the super chat from JB. Interesting thing to think about: if we lose the Tech but win the SEC championship game, hypothetically, we still make it, especially if we're 2-0. If we win the SEC championship game, we're in. We probably would still be. We'd probably still be one of the top 4 seeds, I would think.
What?
That would be interesting. How about if Georgia wins the SEC championship game, but they only get one of the first 4 seeds because they lost to Tech?
We'd still be in.
Be in, but I'm saying you may not get one of the first 4 seeds.
Who's gonna get it? You gonna give it to Boise and Miami?
Maybe.
Who could possibly get it?
If Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, you could give it to Oregon, Miami, Boise State. Who am I missing? Oregon, Miami, Boise State,
Arizona State,
and Arizona State.
No,
well, hell no,
not over
boy.
No.
Hell no.
Nah, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Never mind. They win the SEC championship game, they get one of the first 4 seeds.
No doubt. We in.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
But the chat talking about New York Giants, y'all funny. Daniel Jones has got a bag.
He get to have holidays. He get to be home for the holidays.
He's waiting for a playoff team.
Man, my boy.
Will there be a show Wednesday? Connor wants to know. We'll figure that. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll do a quick Georgia Tech preview. Maybe we'll do it Tuesday after the college football playoff rankings come out. We'll talk a little playoffs. We'll talk a little Georgia Tech. And that way we can call it a week and get ready for some turkey. Any other thoughts on Georgia's game?
Hold some Tech grass up for y'all from here.
Yeah, get some Georgia Tech grass. Any other thoughts? I mean, Carson's rolling right now a little bit. And once again, like, I know it's not against great opponent this past week in UMass, but, it's now 2 straight games without turnovers. That's 6 touchdowns, no picks the past 2 games.
That's all we need is confidence.
Yeah.
Let him throw it. Keep building on it. I haven't watched a lot of Georgia Tech this year. They got a good defense.
Not great, but not bad.
They fly around though.
They're a good team.
They fly around.
They're good. They're a solid football team.
Yeah.
Especially if they get that run game going, which I think that's what's scaring the crap at everyone. So maybe we'll get Pollock or Boykin or Champ on Tuesday with us to give a little defensive perspective to get everyone ready for the game. But I'm more worried about the defense versus Tech than I'm worried about the offense. I'll tell you that.
Yes. They got, I'm telling you, mobile quarterbacks. Don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. And they can stay on the damn field. I mean, that was one thing that when they beat Miami, just thinking back to that game, they had the ball for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Just played keep away.
Add an extra blocker when you're running the quarterback.
Hey, they say you got your hair cut by a black barber, Murray.
No. It's my girl Luis Spanish. She's phenomenal.
Okay.
High and tight. She do a good job. She do a real good job.
He said he got that high and tight.
We gotta get Ben that high and tight.
See one of the bros though.
It just takes too long. She does a good job in 30 minutes. I don't got time for like the freaking hour-long haircut.
What you mean, bro? Get you right.
I don't got time for an hour. I get a haircut like once every 6 weeks. I hate giving up 45 minutes of my night day to get a haircut.
TK ain't had a real haircut since I cut his hair rookie year.
Who?
Yeah, I ain't had a hair
hair
in a long time. I shave every time I shop. Yeah. It just stay slick, you know.
All right. That's it. Appreciate everyone. Happy Sunday. Sorry that Knowshon got wrapped up with the Broncos post-game show, but we'll get him back on Tuesday. We're gonna hopefully work on doing something live with maybe TK and myself and some other lettermen. I don't know if Ben and Knowshon will be able to make it for the SC Championship game. Ben says no, but we'll try to do something live heading into that game versus Texas or Texas A&M in Atlanta. So we'll keep you all posted with that. Miles and Malachi will be shooting their show tomorrow night. Hoping to push that out on Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that one as well. And that's it. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
See y'all. Peace.
Go Dogs.
Hey.